everyone wears a mask. We polish our smiles, control our words, and play roles designed to hide what lurks beneath. Yet here lies the paradox. The harder people try to conceal their true nature, the easier it becomes to see through them. A single glance, a tiny hesitation, a careless reaction. These moments reveal more truth than years of conversation. So the haunting question is this: how can you see who someone really is in seconds, when others spend years blinded by charm and deception? The answer is not in their words, not in the carefully staged performance, but in the cracks they cannot control. This is the dark art of perception, where silence speaks, weakness exposes itself, and masks inevitably slip. In this video, you will discover the subtle signals, the brutal truths, and the hidden tests that uncover anyone's true character faster than they ever imagined. Human beings are not built to see truth directly. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe the surface. A smile is taught to mean friendliness. A compliment is assumed to mean sincerity. A reputation is accepted as proof of character. We are trained to equate charm with honesty, politeness with loyalty, and status with integrity. This is the first mistake. People misjudge because they look at what others want them to see. Culture tells us to trust appearances, to listen to words, and to give weight to reputations. But appearances are theater. Words are weapons. Reputations are masks carefully built over time. The more convincing the mask, the more dangerous the truth behind it becomes. Flattery blinds us. When someone tells us what we want to hear, our defenses drop instantly. Emotions cloud us. Love, admiration, or friendship make us overlook small cracks. We excuse lies, justify inconsistencies, and silence our instincts in order to preserve the comfort of the illusion. Conditioning locks us into this blindness. We are told to be polite, to give people the benefit of the doubt, to assume the best. And so we do, at the cost of our own judgment. The tragedy is that strangers rarely deceive us. We see them with neutral eyes, with no expectations. It is those closest to us who succeed in fooling us. The colleague we trust, the friend we confide in, the partner we believe will never betray us. These are the ones who strike hardest, because our guard was never raised against them. We misjudge not because they are perfect deceivers, but because we are willing accomplices in the lie. The silent danger is this: misjudgment is not rare. It is inevitable when we trust the mask. Every time you take words at face value, every time you ignore instinct in favor of reputation, every time you confuse appearance with truth, you step closer to betrayal. Machiavelli knew this. He warned that rulers fall not from the swords of declared enemies, but from the hands of trusted allies. The same is true in ordinary life. You are more likely to be broken by the smile of a friend than the glare of a rival. The danger doesn't come from what you can see, but from what you choose not to see. The hidden problem is not the existence of liars, manipulators, or pretenders. It is our blindness, our desire to believe in the mask rather than confront the truth beneath it. Until this illusion is destroyed, until you learn to see past charm and reputation, you will always misjudge people. And in that misjudgment lies your greatest vulnerability. The mask always slips, but only for those willing to see it. From childhood, we are fed a comforting story. Believe people when they show you who they are. Sounds wise, almost noble. We're told to take words as truth, to trust actions at face value, to assume people are consistent and honest. But this is a beautiful lie, a myth designed to protect our illusions, not our survival. In reality, people do not show you who they are. They show you who they want you to believe they are. Words are not windows into the soul. Words are weapons, carefully chosen to persuade, seduce, and disarm. Charm is not truth. Smiles are not loyalty. Promises are not guarantees. To believe otherwise is to live blind. History has written this lesson in blood. Julius Caesar trusted Brutus, calling him friend, in the Senate hall. Moments later, Brutus's dagger pierced his body. Leaders throughout time have sworn undying loyalty to kings, only to defect the moment ambition whispered in their ear. Nations have been betrayed not by enemies at the gates, but by ministers seated at the ruler's right hand. The same betrayal happens every day in modern life. The colleague who praises you in meetings might quietly undermine your reputation behind closed doors. The friend who insists they would always be there might vanish at the first sign of your failure. The partner who promises eternal love might already be nurturing secrets that destroy you. Words cost nothing, and because of that, they can mean nothing. Society clings to the myth because it makes life easier. If words equaled truth, if appearances equaled reality, then judgment would be simple. We wouldn't need suspicion. We wouldn't need to test, to question, to analyze. But power demands the opposite. Those who cling to the beautiful lie become prey, their trust exploited by those who understand that deception is more effective than force. The brutal truth is this: people don't reveal themselves voluntarily. They hide. They perform. They craft masks to shield their ambition, their jealousy, their resentment. What they present is a projection, not a reality. And the more convincing the projection, the more dangerous the truth it conceals. Only pressure rips away the disguise. Give someone power, and you will see if they become corrupt or disciplined. Place them in adversity, and you will see if they crumble or remain loyal. Without these tests, you see only the performance. With them, you see the person. The lesson is harsh but necessary. People are not what they say, not what they promise, not what they appear to be. Until tested, everyone is an actor on a stage. Trusting words alone is like trusting a dagger not to cut because it glimmers in the light. Do not wait for people to show you who they are. Force them into the situations where they cannot hide it. For only then will the mask shatter, and the truth stand naked before you. We like to believe that we know people. We trust in the way they smile, the promises they make, or the kindness they show. But the truth is darker. What you see every day is not the person. It is the mask they have chosen to wear. And masks, no matter how polished, cannot survive under pressure. If you want to see who someone truly is, there are only two moments that matter: when they suffer and when they hold power. These two extremes, adversity and dominance, expose the soul in ways comfort never can. Adversity is the first lens. When pain strikes, when life delivers loss, when fear tightens its grip, the mask falls away. The friend who once praised you may vanish when you stumble. The partner who promised loyalty may retreat when things grow heavy. Adversity reveals who stands and who runs. Cowards abandon you, opportunists shift their allegiance, and the weak crumble. But those rare few who remain by your side in suffering, those who choose to endure alongside you, show you a truth no words could ever express. Loyalty is not declared. It is proven when times turn brutal. The second lens is power. Give a man authority even in small doses, and his true nature spills out. Power does not change people, it unmasks them. Some become arrogant, intoxicated by their new ability to control others. They turn cruel, forcing obedience, seeking worship. Others reveal discipline, carrying power with restraint, choosing control without humiliation. This difference matters more than words ever could. The humble may turn tyrant once crowned, while the quiet may rise to rule with calm strength. The throne does not create corruption. It simply amplifies what was already hidden. This is why comfort is deceptive. In times of peace, everyone can play a role. Even the weakest man can appear brave when there is no danger. Even the cruelest person can appear gentle when no one is in their grasp. Calm seas make every sailor look skilled. Only storms prove the captain's worth. In the same way, true character can never be measured by how someone behaves when life is easy. It must be judged by how they act when tested. Dark philosophy makes the truth clear. Character is not built in words, in reputations, or in appearances. It is revealed in reactions. Watch how a man responds to loss, and you will know his courage. Watch how he wields authority, and you will know his soul. Everything else is performance. If you want to see someone's true nature, you do not need years. You do not need endless conversations or promises. You need only to look at them in suffering or give them power. In those moments, the mask slips, and the real face is revealed. If you truly want to know someone's nature, Stop listening and start watching. Words are smoke, designed to obscure, distract, and charm. But actions, no matter how small, betray the truth. A predator does not rely on what its prey says. It studies the slightest shift in movement, the faintest sign of weakness. The same rule applies to people. If you want to see beneath the mask, you must develop the predator's gaze, an eye trained to catch the cracks no one else notices. These cracks appear in micro-expressions. The flicker of envy in someone's eyes when you succeed, the tightening of the jaw when they are corrected, the false smile that vanishes the moment they think you aren't looking. A person may spend years polishing their words, but they cannot rehearse every twitch, every silence, every instinctive reaction. Look at what they do when they believe no one is watching. This is where truth escapes. Stress is the perfect stage for exposure. Under pressure, people lose control of the mask. Notice who interrupts to dominate a conversation, and who falls silent out of fear. Observe who seeks shortcuts when the task grows heavy, and who endures with discipline. Small choices reveal greater truths. A colleague taking credit for another's work, a friend who disappears when you are in need, a lover who only comforts when it is easy. In these moments, one act outweighs a lifetime of promises. History offers countless lessons. Generals in ancient wars withheld rewards from soldiers to see who remained loyal without praise. The ones who stayed, despite no recognition, were trustworthy. Those who grumbled or plotted revealed ambition or resentment. Rulers often tested their advisors by presenting false opportunities, watching to see who would betray their humility in the hope of personal gain. These calculated provocations exposed more about character than years of companionship ever could. Even in modern life, the same dark principle applies. Leaders quietly observe their teams during moments of scarcity or conflict. Who hoards resources? Who sabotages rivals? Who sacrifices for the group? A predator does not need to act immediately. It waits, collects patterns, and judges only after enough cracks reveal the truth. The brutal reality is this: one crack tells you more than a polished performance built over decades. A single act of selfishness, a glance of resentment, a silence at the wrong moment. These are signals that no mask can fully erase. Most people ignore them, preferring the comfort of words, but the strategist never does. He collects these signs, piece by piece, until the mask collapses under its own weight. The predator's gaze is not paranoia, it is survival. Watch carefully, quietly, and patiently. Those around you are always telling you who they are, not with words, but with slips they cannot control. Learn to see the cracks, and you will never again be fooled by the mask. If you want to strip away the mask and see the raw soul beneath, there are only two true tests: the storm and the throne. Nothing else works as quickly, nothing else cuts as deep. In comfort, everyone is kind. In safety, everyone appears loyal. But when storms rage or crowns are placed, the pretense dies, and the truth stands naked. The storm is adversity. When comfort is torn away and pressure descends, people can no longer maintain their illusions. Watch closely in these moments. Fear makes the coward retreat, while jealousy drives the weak to betrayal. Some turn on friends to protect themselves, others dissolve into panic, and a rare few grow calm and steady in the chaos. Adversity is a mirror that cannot lie. It reflects exactly what people are when stripped of excuses. One trial, one crisis, reveals more about character than years of friendly smiles. The throne is power. Give someone authority, no matter how small, and you will see their hidden nature erupt. A worker promoted to manager, a friend trusted with secrets, a lover given control over decisions. These thrones expose the soul. The arrogant reveal themselves in their abuse. The greedy use power to hoard. The disciplined wield it with restraint, quietly commanding respect without the need for cruelty. Power does not corrupt, it unmasks. Those who crave it often show their weakness the moment they hold it. Those who fear it prove their strength by wearing it lightly. In daily life, you can engineer these tests. Deadlines act as storms. Who breaks down, who blames others, who adapts with calm precision. Small responsibilities serve as thrones. who grows arrogant when given even minor control, who stays humble, and who lets ambition poison their judgment. These subtle situations reveal character faster than endless words ever could. While others listen to promises, the strategist sets the stage and waits for the mask to crack. History echoes this truth again and again. Empires fell not because enemies were strong, but because rulers, once crowned, revealed their nature. Some drowned in arrogance. Others used discipline to forge legacies that outlived them. Soldiers in storms of war showed who was loyal and who would flee. The storm and the throne are timeless. They destroy illusions, whether in ancient palaces or modern offices. The brutal insight is simple. Pain and power reveal the soul in seconds. You don't need years to know a person. Watch how they respond when the storm strips them of safety, or when the throne grants them command. In those two crucibles, masks collapse, illusions burn away, and the truth emerges, sometimes noble, often terrifying. The wise do not trust appearances. They wait for the storm. They grant the throne. And in those fleeting moments, they see everything. Most people never see reality for what it is, not because it's hidden, but because they refuse to look. Truth is raw, sharp, and uncomfortable. Illusions, on the other hand, are soft and comforting. A smile soothes suspicion. A polished reputation silences doubt. A mask of kindness feels safer than staring into the chaos of human nature. And so, most people choose the lie and they defend it as if it were truth. This blindness is not an accident. It is a preference. People want the story more than the substance. They want to believe their friend is loyal, their leader is honest, their colleague is genuine. The alternative, that betrayal, corruption, and envy are always possible, creates too much fear. Illusions provide shelter. Believing the mask is easier than admitting the danger behind it. That is why most never see the cracks, even when they stand directly in front of them. History is littered with examples of masks that fooled entire crowds. Cult leaders who promised salvation while planning destruction. Politicians who smiled into cameras while stealing in the shadows. Colleagues who played the role of perfect team players, only to sabotage others behind closed doors. The crowd clapped, cheered, and trusted, because they wanted the illusion to be real. They wanted to believe in masks more than they wanted to face the truth. The danger is that masks do not just deceive, they inspire. People admire those who appear confident, generous, or flawless, and they ignore evidence to the contrary. They explain away inconsistencies, defend liars, and turn against anyone who dares to point out the cracks. The crowd does not hate deception, it hates disruption of the illusion. That is why whistleblowers are punished more than liars, why skeptics are mocked while manipulators rise. But the strategist does not join the crowd. The strategist studies the cracks. While the masses cheer the performance, the strategist watches the slip of the eye, the hesitation in the voice, the contradiction between word and action. Where others see charm, the strategist sees calculation. Where others see kindness, the strategist looks for the ambition hidden beneath it. The trap of appearances is powerful because it exploits our deepest need, the need to feel safe. Believing in masks keeps the world simple and predictable. But reality is neither simple nor safe. Most will never dare to face that, and so they remain blind. The harsh insight is this: the majority will always be fooled, not because the mask is perfect, but because they prefer the mask to the truth. They do not want to see. But you must. For the one who refuses the illusion, who studies the cracks others ignore, that is the one who cannot be deceived, the one who holds true power. The true strategist does not waste time asking people who they are. Words lie, masks deceive, and reputations are rehearsed. Instead, he creates conditions where the truth cannot be hidden. This is the battlefield of perception, not where swords clash, but where human nature exposes itself. Here, victory belongs not to the one who trusts, but to the one who tests. The masters of power throughout history never relied on declarations of loyalty. They engineered situations where loyalty had to be proven. A ruler would withhold a reward to see who grumbled in silence. A general would delay recognition of his soldiers to identify who sought glory more than duty. A king would place two advisors in competition, not to weaken them, but to reveal which one would betray the other first. Pressure and silence were their weapons, and character was their battlefield. You can do the same in daily life. Withhold your approval and see who grows restless. True allies remain steady. Opportunists turn cold. Grant small responsibility and watch what happens. The competent rise. The arrogant expose their limits. Introduce tension. A missed detail, a delayed answer, a subtle contradiction. Observe carefully. The insecure will panic. The manipulative will over-explain. The ambitious will reveal claws they thought were hidden. This is not cruelty. It is clarity. When you create pressure, you are not damaging people, you are unveiling them. The surface is always polished, but under stress, cracks appear. That is when you see fear, envy, loyalty, or discipline. It is not the words that matter, but the reactions. A man who flinches under silence reveals more than one who speaks endlessly. A woman who turns cold when denied attention shows her hunger for validation more clearly than any confession could. The battlefield of perception requires patience. You cannot rush it because masks are durable in comfort. Only when conditions change, when someone feels tested, denied, or granted power, does the mask slip. The crowd believes identity is fixed, but the strategist knows identity is revealed. The question is not if the mask will crack, but when. Think of relationships. The lover who promises eternal loyalty, but shows their true face in conflict. Think of workplaces. The colleague who plays humble until granted authority, then becomes a tyrant. Think of society. Leaders who charm the public, only to tighten chains once power is secured. The wise man does not take words as proof. He engineers storms and thrones, small tests, subtle trials that drag the truth to the surface. The brutal philosophy is simple. If you want to know someone, do not ask them, provoke them. Withhold, grant, delay, deny. Silence is sharper than questions. Responsibility is heavier than promises. Pressure is more revealing than praise. On the battlefield of perception, you are not fighting others. You are forcing them to fight themselves, and in that struggle, their true nature is laid bare. Power is not abstract. It is lived in daily interactions, revealed in small cracks that most ignore. The ability to see someone's true nature in seconds is not a mystical gift. It is a discipline, sharpened by observation. To use it, you must learn to watch, not just listen. At work, the test is stress. Colleagues can seem kind, humble, or agreeable during easy days. But when deadlines close in and pressure mounts, masks begin to slip. Watch closely. Who stays calm, who lashes out, who throws others under the bus. A person who sabotages in small moments under stress will betray in larger ones when the stakes rise. Praise also reveals much. Some accept recognition with quiet dignity, while others grow arrogant or begin to demand more. These reactions show you how they will behave if they ever gain real power. In relationships, conflict is the crucible. Anyone can love when things are smooth. The true test is disagreement, disappointment, or loss. Observe how your partner responds when you stand your ground. Do they seek resolution, or do they weaponize your vulnerability? Do they show patience, or do they strike where it hurts most? Even affection reveals power dynamics. When a partner has leverage, financial, emotional, or social, how do they use it? Those who exploit advantage in small ways cannot be trusted with greater control. In society, leaders reveal themselves not in speeches or promises, but in how they treat the powerless. A ruler, boss, or public figure may perform charm to win applause, but their real nature is exposed in moments with those who cannot repay or resist them. Do they exploit, ignore, or demean? Or do they show restraint and discipline? History teaches us that tyrants rise not because of cruelty alone, but because people ignored the signs they showed early in how they treated the weak. The warning is heavy. Once you learn to see truth, illusions lose their comfort. Most people prefer to believe in words, promises, and appearances. They enjoy the story of loyalty, love, and friendship more than the reality of jealousy, fear, and ambition. To pierce these illusions is to step away from the crowd, into the loneliness of clarity. It isolates you, but it also protects you. Empowerment lies in this. While others remain blind, you see clearly. You will no longer be surprised by betrayal, shaken by conflict, or deceived by charm. You will see the cracks that others miss, the twitch of envy, the hunger for validation, the cruelty disguised as kindness. This is not paranoia. It is perception. And perception is power. In seconds, you can know what takes others years to discover. Not by asking, not by trusting, but by watching. For in storms and thrones, in pressure and power, the mask always slips. And those who see it first will always stand above those who remain blind. For years, people build identities like fortresses, layering smiles, words, gestures, and appearances to hide their true selves. They polish reputations, perform loyalty, and carefully adjust masks so no one can see beneath. But the brutal truth is this: masks do not last forever. They can endure for years, but a single moment of suffering or a sudden taste of power tears them apart in seconds. Words deceive. They are cheap and endlessly repeated. Appearances comfort. They make us believe the world is simpler than it is. But reality is not found in promises or charm. It is revealed in how people react when pressure burns or power tempts. The colleague who betrays under stress, the partner who lashes out in conflict, the leader who turns tyrant when crowned. These are not sudden changes. They are glimpses of the true self that was always hidden beneath the mask. The poetic cruelty of life is that people spend decades trying to perfect illusions, but the test of character takes only a heartbeat. A harsh word, a missed opportunity, a moment of authority, and the truth breaks free. Some reveal cowardice, others reveal cruelty. A rare few reveal loyalty, resilience, or restraint. But all reveal something. In comfort, everyone can pretend. In extremes, no one can hide. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Power does not create monsters, it only exposes them. Adversity does not change loyalty, it only unmasks it. The storms of life and the thrones of authority are the mirrors that strip away lies. And if you know how to watch, you will never again be deceived. The empowerment lies in clarity. Once you see the cracks, you cannot be manipulated by words or seduced by appearances. You will not waste years on illusions. You will not be surprised by betrayal. Instead, you will walk through the world with a sharpened lens. One that separates truth from performance, character from costume. This vision will isolate you, because few want to see what lies beneath the mask. But it will also protect you, elevate you, and give you an advantage most never find. The final metaphor is simple. The mask can smile for years, but one storm tears it apart in seconds. If you want to know someone's soul, do not wait for stories, words, or reputations. Watch what they do when suffering tests them, or when power intoxicates them. In those seconds, you will see everything. And so the last line becomes the rule for all who seek clarity. If you want to see someone's true nature, don't wait a lifetime. Watch them in the storm or on the throne, and you'll know everything in seconds.